America, South America, Iraq, Iran, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, or out there in Australia, New Zealand, maybe Japan or South Korea, North Korea, Ukraine, or even Russia, or yeah, wherever you may be, welcome. Join me in the next half hour. We'll talk about El CAC and also Duterte, also Senator Ping Lacson, and some points that we can gather about NTF and LCAC. Is it good or is it bad? Right? And what benefits can we derive out of it? Okay, these things we will answer with the videos that we will share, and it's kind of a revisit. It's a review because these videos are not new, but they stand as a good reference material if we're going to take a look at NTF LCAC with a good perspective. Is it okay with you? Yes, sure. Right? So, also at this point in time, I want to say that I disclaim any authority, any authorship, any claim as to uh, the creation of these videos, right? So all credit belongs to the authors, to the creators, to the participants, amen, of these videos. Okay, let's make that clear. I'm here using them in order to use them as vehicles to convey some news and then to extract some basis for making comments or response. Is that okay with you? Good. Now, let's get on with it. First video. Here it is. Wait, huh? Okay. Smith. There. Here it is.
Months of its mandate, which is centered on a clear, consolidate, hold, develop approach geared towards the efficient delivery of housing, education, social protection, health, and basic utility services to pre-identified areas, cleared of the presence and influence of the communist insurgents, especially in the countryside. In fact, if I may boldly state, among the different programs under the Duterte administration, I consider the NTF LCAP's whole of nation approach as the most effective thus far.
Binanggit din nito ang pangungumbinsi ng iba't ibang militanteng grupo sa mga kabataang estudyante na sumanib sa kanila at kinalaunan ay napapatay sa mga engkwentro sa pagitan ng pwersa ng gobyerno at New People's Army.
Mr. President, we have learned of the reported cases of students who were killed during encounters between the members of the CPP-NPA and the country's security forces in recent years. Their profiles bear similarities.
Oh, kita nyo yan? Nakita nyo yung sinasabi niya? May mga missing students na re-recruit. Yan. So that's one of the things that Senator Lacson is concerned about. And also when I review some YouTube videos, I find that there are mothers who cried, who were in agony over missing children, their college student children. They sent them to school, paid tuition fee, only to find that they disappeared and they surfaced somewhere in the mountains and join the NPAs. And that's why many parents really don't like this recruitment thing uh, in colleges and universities. Yes, they hate it, and therefore, if you would ask them, they'd like they they are in favor of NTF LCAT. Well, let's continue. Okay. Uh-huh. Let's see.
All were promising students of state universities who became impassioned student activists, later found in the midst of conflict areas, far from their homes, and at the forefront of the NPA's fighting force.
Sa kanyang ulat, muli lang din pinabulaanan ni Lacson ang aligasyon ng mga progresibong grupo na ang red tagging ay isa sa mga bunga ng anti-terrorism law.
The committee takes exception to the progressive group's allegation that red tagging is among the consequences of the passage of the Anti-Terrorism Act. This is unconvincing, to say the least, as red tagging or red baiting is in no way related to the recently passed law. Section 4 of the law is clear and explicit that it does not penalize advocacy, the exercise of the right to organize, and other forms of legitimate dissent. Notwithstanding, we submit that the issue on the constitutionality of the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 is already being deliberated and discussed before the Supreme Court and therefore should not be tackled in any other venue under the prevailing sub judice rule.
Samantala sa ika-4 na araw ng oral arguments ukol sa anti-terrorism law sa Korte Suprema, ikinatuwa ng mga sumusuporta sa batas ang ulat sa Senado ni Lacson.
Unang-una,
Here, it says that many quarters are happy over the findings of Senator Lacson's committee reports with regard to the so-called red tagging, with regard to attitude towards or against the NPA, NDF, CPP combined, right? Uh, it's generally affirmative. It's a positive approval of the Senator Lacson's committee report. Now, what else? Let me show you another video.
NTF LCAC at ang Regional Task Force LCAC sa pagbibigay ng maraming opportunities for many of the former rebels, mga rebelde dati na magbalik loob.
Ayun. So, maganda pala ang resulta na katulad ng narinig ninyo. Yan ang accomplishment ng NTF LCAT. Okay, so iwan muna natin yan at punta naman tayo sa iba. Nakahanda na ba kayo?
Pero dahil sa tapang at malasakit sa mga Pilipino ni Pangulong Duterte,
Ito na. Are you ready?
Unti-unti nating nakamit ang mga pagbabago. Mula noong 2016, marami na ang nagbago sa ating bayan. Mga pagbabagong nakikita, nararamdaman at napapakinabangan ng Pilipino. Ito ang pamana ng pagbabago.
Makibaka? Hindi. Makibahagi. Nais ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte na maging parte ang mga dating communist rebels sa pagpapaunlad ng bansa sa pamamagitan ng mga programang handog ng National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict o NTF-ELCAC. Ngunit ano nga ba ang NTF-ELCAC? Bakit ito mahalaga para sa lahat? At bakit ito ang naging sandalan ng mga kapwa nating Pilipinong minsan nang namulat sa maling pamumuhay at kumapit sa maling pag-asa?
Higit 50 taon nang nakikipaglaban ng gobyerno sa mga komunistang grupo. Pakikipaglabang na uwi sa karahasan ng Pilipino laban sa kapwa Pilipino.
Ito talaga yung pinakamadugo at napakalungkot, punong-puno ng trahedya ng kabanata ng ating kasaysayan. So, 53 years ago, no, sila Joma Sison, nag-create sila ng Communist Party of the Philippines. Pero yung kakaiba sa kanya, sa ibang mga communist parties sa ibang bansa, is meron siyang very strong element of panloloko. May deceit.
Kaya naman upang tuldukan ang nasabing suliraning panlipunan, pinirmahan ni Pangulong Duterte ang Executive Order No. 70 na nagtatag ng National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. Sa ilalim ng Anti-Insurgency Task Force na ito, ipinapatupad ang Whole of Nation approach kung saan tulong-tulong ang iba't ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan upang iangat ang antas ng buhay ng mga Pilipinong naninirahan sa mga geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas.
Ayun pala. Kaya naman pala ginawa yun eh. Tingnan, may whole of nation approach. In other words, hindi lang kapraso ng bansa ang gagawa niya, ng may assignment dyan, kundi tulong-tulong yung mga agencies of government. Pati yung whole of nation approach, hindi lamang yung nasa gobyerno, kundi isasama din ang private participation dyan. Kung sino man pwedeng makatulong dyan. Kaya maganda yan dahil it is in fact taking the negative and turning it around to produce something positive. For example, yung mga nagbabalik ng mga rebelde, hindi basta hayaing bumalik na kayo at bahala na kayo sa buhay nyo. Hindi naman ganun. Ito ay pagka kinuha sila, tutulungan silang magsimula ng bagong buhay na maging normal at katanggap-tanggap sila sa society. Ibig sabihin, bibigyan sila ng pagkakataon makapaghanap buhay, magkaroon ng trabaho. Ano pa ba yung iba? Yung bibigyan ng scholarship. Yung mga anak, kita niya yan, libreng edukasyon, at yung iba pa nga, may pabahay. May pabahay pa dyan. At tapos meron pa yatang, ewan ko, may kapital pa yata na magsisimula sila na may kapital kaya, ano pang gugustuhin ng rebelde? Pag narinig niya yan, i-compare mo ngayon, nasa bundok sila. Yung magkakasakit sila ng malaria, ginugutom sila, nagkakasakit sila, nauuhaw sila, malayo sila sa pamilya. I-compare mo nga dyan na meron silang tirahan, kasama ang pamilya, may pagkain, may hanap buhay, may edukasyon yung mga bata. Ano pa bang klaseng buhay gusto nila doon sa dalawang yon? Obvious, di ba? Obvious yan. Kaya yung si Pangulong Duterte, sinasabi ko nga, magaling ang common sense. Magaling dumiskarte. Oo, madiskarting tao. Tsaka with practical benefits. Hindi siya theoretical. Thinker din siya. Yung pwede siya maging creative. Pero he brings it down to practical use. Yan ang mabuti, magaling kay President Duterte. Kaya it's good to review yung mga nasa YouTube na mga videos. It's good because there you can see yung mga benefits halimbawa ng NTF-ELCAC. Sukat gustong ipabuwag yan ng rapporteur ng United Nations, special rapporteur. Ano ba? On whose side is that rapporteur with? Ha? Saan ba siyang side? Kalaban siya o kakampi? Ano ba siya? Komunista din ba siya? Oh. Ngayon, ano pa? Tingnan pa natin yun, kung meron pang iba para tingnan natin ito, ha? Mhm. Ito naman isa. Ito pa uli. Balikan natin to.
Magandang araw naman sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan sa buong mundo na naaabot at nakakapanood ng ating programa. Sa loob po ng kalahating oras, sabay-sabay tayong magkaroon ng mga panibagong impormasyon na hatid ng isang ahensya ng pamahalaan.
Ayon sa nagpapatuloy na communist rebellion sa ating bansa. Ang NTF-ELCAC ay tinatag para sa isang whole of a nation approach na pagpuksa sa mga komunistang grupo. Kasunod ng pagbuo ng nasabing task force, ang opisyal na pagtuldok ng peace talks sa pagitan ng pamahalaan at New People's Army o NPA na pinirmahan ni Pangulong Duterte sa ilalim ng Proclamation 360 kung saan nakasaad dito na sa kabila na napagkasundo ang peace negotiation ay patuloy pa rin umano ang pag-atake ng NPA sa pamahalaan at mga pribadong sektor.
Pasilip pa lang yan ng ating pag-uusapan.
Di ba, peace talks with them, they don't really honor it. So this was prompted a lot of those triggers. One of the triggers was this peace talks nga, the failed peace talks. But of course, there were a lot of triggers.
Yusek Lorraine, meron po ring NP-ELCAC. Can you explain to us ano pong pinagkaiba ng NP-ELCAC sa NTF-ELCAC?
The National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict was created by the President on the 4th of December 2018, and it was made public by Malacanang on the 10th of December 2018. And this came after the President was prompted to end the peace talks with the communist guerrillas a year earlier because of the string of attacks of the communist armed component of the New People's Army. Under EO 70, the task force is mandated to provide an efficient mechanism structure for the implementation of a whole-of-nation approach, which was likewise institutionalized as government policy for the attainment of inclusive and sustainable peace. So, under the same EO 70, the task force was directed to formulate and start to implement the national peace framework driven by the whole-of-nation approach in conflict-affected and vulnerable communities. The National Peace Framework, according to EO 70, should contain principles, policies, plans, and programs that will bring inclusive and sustainable peace and address the root causes of the insurgency, the internal disturbances and tensions, as well as the other armed conflicts and threats in identified areas.
Ayun naman pala. So ngayon, di ang galing. Ba't mo aalisin yan? Dapat tulungan yan. Hindi dapat i-block or do not bring unnecessary hindrances to the move of the NTF-ELCAC if they are faithful to their mandate, because the mandate itself is good, right? Now, if their plans, programs, and policies are sound, why should you hinder them or prevent them or not help them? right? The whole nation should come together and help them accomplish their mandate to bring about what? Solid peace and security to the nation and a return of the rebels to a normal, satisfying life. Say amen to that. Isn't that great? That's great. So let's be practical. Use common sense, right? Use common sense. Discarte. All right? Oo, hindi na pinagtatalunan yan ngayon. Depende na lang kung yung iba, bayaran sila. So they are sympathetic to the CPP, NPA, NDF combined. Right? Ganun lang yon. Kaya hanggang dyan na muna tayo. Magpapaalam na muna tayo at hopefully these videos and our little comment have helped or have been of some help one way or the other to a sound, clear thinking of what NTF-LCAC is all about, right? And the name of Senator Panfilo Lacson, sound thinker din yan eh. Senator Lacson has, to state what is obvious and what is known by others already, naging PNP chief yan eh. So malawak ang kanyang karanasan. He disciplined his people. Suddenly, nag-exercise yung mga tao niya sa umaga. Naging slim sila sa halip na fatso yung malaki ang tiyan. And yung ganun lang, that's a sign na disciplinarian ng tao. Right? Kaysa sa pulis ka nga, hindi ka makahabol ng inahabol mong culprit because mataba ka, butsyog ka, di ba? Hindi mo mahabol talaga yung patpatin na tao na mabilis tumakbo. Ba't ka pa magiging pulis kung gano'n? Kaya sinet niya yung straight yan. Una, sa gano'n. Yung thinking nila, pinalitan ni Lacson. Yeah, kasi kung si Lacson he is a changer. Yeah. He's an agent of change. Kaya magaling yan. Tapos naging ano pa ba siya? Naging DILG din siya. Yun ang recollection ko dyan. Kaya malawak yung kanyang karanasan. Tapos meron pa siyang intelligence, native intelligence. Kaya mabuting tao yan. Si Lacson. Yan, pagkakaalam ko dyan. Kaya kung halimbawa for senator, sabi mo, kakandidato Alicia, sa aking palagay, ako, pamilya ko, at saka yung iba kong mga kasama sa pananampalataya, okay? Mga ka-brother, ka-sister, yung mga gano'n, mga neighbors, boto kami sa kanya. Tapos yung pagtulong niya sa NTF, LCAC na yan, sound thinking yan. It is progressive because it's contributory to national peace and security in a direct way. May talagang positive output. Yun ang tawag dyan. Okay, so ano pa ba? At tapos, yung gawa ni Duterte, wag nating maliitin yan. Pagkat, yun nga, he signed the bill into law and now it is being applied and the mechanisms have been set in place. Ngayon, itong si Dr. Lorraine Badoy, saka ka Eric Celis, nakita mo naman na yung action nila, statements nila are in line with the NTF-LCAC. And NTF-LCAC is an instrument of national policy to produce peace, security, and stability for the nation, right? It is not out there to demolish just a a foe or an enemy or a hostile entity. Di lang ganun yan. Uh, it is out to produce something positive in this time and at this hour when the world needs something positive. Amen. All right. So that's the way it goes. So uh, Dr. Lorraine Badoy, Ka Eric Celis should instead of being persecuted or even prosecuted, they should be supported. Why not? They're modern patriots in this day and in this hour. That's true. They are. And can you imagine that they have the boldness to do that at the risk of their lives? They're creating what? Uh, well, enemies from the CPP, NPA, NDF side, of course. But they have the other option, just keeping quiet, right? But instead of just keeping silent, they specially made a decision to ventilate what is in their heart. What is that? To oppose any further growth of the NPP, of the CPP, NPA, NDF combined, because that promotes communism, which aims to destroy by violent force, if necessary, any existing authority for their eventual takeover. Right? That's clear. That's a communist um, a policy as contained in their manifesto. Right? That's not made up by Dr. Lorraine or Eric Celis. They didn't make that up. That is in the Communist Manifesto. Right? Okay. So there we are. You know exactly what it is. And therefore, we say goodbye for now. Hope you join us again on our next episode, right? When we take up other items of national interest. And especially uh, the next time around, we may uh, uh, do a live commentary on the ongoings in the West Philippine Sea, China, and also the military exercises done by multilateral nations. Yes? All right. So goodbye for now. See you again next time when Manny Lumba comes on Manny Lumba TV live. Keep safe.